How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading whether the price is going up or down. Signature Bank was shut down to send anti-crypto message, says Barney Frank. Ex-congressman and the man behind the Dodd-Frank Act, Barney Frank, said Signature Bank was shuttered in part on an attack of the digital asset industry. The former lawmaker, a Signature Bank board member, said in a Monday interview with CNBC that regulators targeted the bank to send an anti-crypto message. New York regulators decided to abruptly shut the bank down, citing system risk, which management at the firm was surprised by. Regulators still have not provided the firm with any further reasoning for shuttering the bank. I think partly what happened was that regulators wanted to send a very strong anti-crypto message, he quoted. Saying by CNBC, he said that the bank was a poster boy for the crypto industry. He says this because this bank handles the USDC blockchain network, and without them, no one's going to be running that network, so that's a very integral part of an on and off ramp, as that's one of the main CBDCs being used. So likely we may see USD or JED, as JED has been gaining some popularity lately, kind of gain some hold with if this is not resolved. Signature Bank gave crypto company loans. America's biggest digital asset exchange, Coinbase, said Friday that it held a corporate cash balance of around $240 million with Signature Bank. Stablecoin issuer and brokerage firm Paxos admitted to having a $250 million at this bank as well. Signature Bank shutdown now means that mainstream crypto companies are once again locked out of the traditional finance system, something that crypto exchanges in particular require so that their customers can buy assets like Bitcoin and cash out to US dollars. Frank was one of the people behind the Dodd-Frank Act, which overhauled U.S. banking regulation to prevent another global crash following the 2007-2008 financial crisis. The Biden administration has insisted that the move to protect depositors, known as systemic risk exception, is not a bailout, and that the taxpayer will not incur any of the burden, but the intervention has been described by others in that way, such as the Wall Street Journal, saying it's a de facto bailout. Jeez, I can't talk there. SBV investment banking arm explores buying lender back, Bloomberg News. The managers of Silicon Valley Bank's investment banking arm, SBV Securities, are exploring ways to buy the collapsed lender back from its parent company. SBV Securities Chief Executive Officer Jeff Leerink said his team is seeking help to finance a potential management buyout of the business. There is no certainty that a deal will be reached, and other potential buyers could also emerge. So that's important to remember, as this isn't a guarantee just because they're related. SVB Securities is financially stable and will continue to operate as usual, they said in a statement. SVB Financial Group is working with an investment bank and law firm to find buyers for its other assets, which includes SVB Securities. So, SVB Financial Group, the guys in charge of the bank, is trying to sell SBV Securities, it sounds like, so it might be a little tough for them to be able to buy the bank out from them. HSBC UK acquires Silicon Valley Bank's UK branch for £1. I found multiple articles, this is no joke. So that's about $1.21 at our rate for us US watchers. So they literally got the bank for $1. So anything they make is a lot of profit. The acquisition also means that depositors at the British branch of SVB can continue to bank as usual, safe in the knowledge that their deposits are backed by the strength, safety, and security of HSBC. The UK Finance Ministry told Decrypt via email that customers at SVB UK will be able to access their deposits and banking services as normal from today. Jeremy Hunt retweeted that deposits will be processed with no taxpayer support. So they're kind of saying the same thing our politicians are saying. And the rest isn't really too important. So SVB UK has been acquired, but the US branch has not. Binance swap BUSD stablecoin from recovery fund to Bitcoin and Ethereum and BNB. Binance, the world's largest exchange by trading volume, responded to the drama around the USDC stablecoin by converting the remainder of its $1 billion Industry Recovery Initiative funds into BTC, Ethereum, and other digital currencies. A little too far. Given the change in stablecoins and banks, Binance will convert the remaining of the $1 billion Industry Recovery Initiative funds from BSUD to native crypto, including BTC, BNB, and ETH. They didn't really give any specific amounts. BNB launched this fund in November 22 following the collapse of FTX, and the initiative is aimed to help projects who are otherwise strong but in a liquidity crisis. Paxos announced it would halt BUSD minting and end its relationship with Binance for the stablecoin, so likely it's time for them to offload this coin, as soon it's not going to be any use. And then there's not too much more here that's very important. Binance to suspend British pound deposits and withdrawals, unless it can find another service provider, and this is also an issue with Signature. USDC has no service provider, so they need a new service provider too, or the same thing may happen. Crypto exchange Binance will suspend British pound sterling deposits and withdrawals starting on May 22nd. The email, which was sent to customers on Monday, explained that customers won't be able to use GBP as their account on our off-ramp because Grill Limited, the UK-based partner Binance uses for faster payment service transactions, is no longer going to support them. New Binance users will be unable to open accounts with this as an option, so new users will be protected from this issue. And it is noted that they've been on and off again a few times, so hopefully they can hash things out and their relationship can kind of get ironed out. We'll kind of have to see what happens. So back onto the charts. Over on the daily, we have this descending channel that we are kind of having a little early map. There's some wicks here for a top. You could consider this here. It's kind of fluctuating for a top. Our bottom here and here. We'll kind of have to see how this plays out. Money flow is really not coming in, so I'm not super bullish. But our stochastic, RSI, VWAP, and our momentum wave are all super bullish looking, and they do have some potential to push us higher. So if those do overtake and our money flow finally starts to curl, then we could break through kind of early to this 28k level. But I don't think that's very likely based on some of the things on the lower time frames. If we get a later breakout, that'd be more likely. That could take us to around 26k, at which point we could play around with this golden pocket either time that we hit it. If you're not familiar with the golden pocket, please see my Fibonacci retracement video, but there's likely to be some volatility if we get near it. So over on the 4 hour, if we look, our RSI is kind of curling. We're getting a red candle forming here, and we could potentially start being rounding off. Stochastic's trying to make a bullish cross. We are overbought, so it really doesn't have much place to run up, so it's likely to either run flat or just kind of fall from here. Momentum's pretty overbought right now. VWAP's coming down, and our money flow never got in the bullish zone. So while we got all these bullish confirmations and our cup and handle broke out perfectly and we went a little beyond that, don't beat yourself up if you only stopped here. You don't always want to take the full move, because we could just as easily stopped out on this black SMA we have, or earlier. So don't beat yourself up for not getting the full profits, because you're never going to get the full top or bottom. If you do, you possibly got real lucky. Money flows kind of curling away, so that's kind of concerning, with our VWAP starting to cross down and the RSI heading down, as well as that momentum wave starting to kind of curl. So it's 4 hours looking kind of scary, even though we got a lot of really good movement. 2 hour, if we look, we have a bearish divergence here on momentum and stochastic. Our RSI has red dots here, so getting bearish signals all across all those. If we zoom in a little, you can see our money flow. It kind of came down, almost got near that zero level, just barely above it. and then rejected crossing. Didn't really cross too strong. We did reject breaking bearish, so that is a positive sign. But our VWAP, our medium term, is coming down. So I'd be a little weary that this may kind of fluctuate back down and flop over right here, as we're not really getting the strongest movement here. Like the 1 hour, if you see the movement here, it kind of started weak, but then it picked up real good. We're not really getting too good of a pickup on the 2 hour. We have these divergences on the 1 hour too. Our stochastic's coming down, but it looks like it might kind of roll up, so we may get a little bit of a bounce here, but you're kind of getting the same top structures on the 2 hour here, where it's kind of rounding out here. Look over the next few candles to see if we do start to come down, and if we do, that may be a signal that we could drop back down. If we do drop back down, look for a bounce around this 22.5, as that's kind of the top of that last channel that we had. Maybe we stop around this 23.7. We did stop there already, so if we don't stop there and make a bounce, then it's likely we'll hit that 22.5 area in this purple channel that we had previously. So over on graph, came right up to that support line or resistance and didn't break through it. That's one example of why I left it there. Stochastic's making a pretty good move up, RSI's making a good move up, VWAP's making a good move, and so is our money flow, or momentum wave, sorry. Money flow is rounding up, however it looks like it might start to curl back down here as it's kind of flattening out. You want to see it just start to rise up, kind of like we showed, kind of like here, how it just has a steady incline. When it starts to waver down, that's when things can take a little bit of a dip. That's not always a necessary thing that you're going to break, but it is a thing to make you be more cautious in case you do break. Over on the 4 hour, we got pretty much the same signals. We had that similar cup and handle like I showed on Bitcoin, and I mentioned that last night. Stochastics making similar moves to Bitcoin, where we have that bullish cross, but not much room to move. RSI is kind of flattening out as it's kind of overbought. I don't think, yeah, RSI can still move, so it's kind of flattening out here, suggesting we may kind of lose some hold. Our momentum wave is starting to round out, VWAP's starting to come down. Money flow never really got a bullish cross, and it's somewhat kind of just flat here. I would have expected more to come up with all this bullish action. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a green money flow cross, so that is a good sign. We have a bearish divergence though, just like Bitcoin. VWAP is bearish. So our stochastic, RSI, money flow, our stochastic, RSI, momentum, and VWAP are all in the bearish zones or flashing bearish signs. So I'd be a little cautious here on the 2 hour, as we do kind of have that similar rounding out that could happen. Over on the 1 hour, our money flow is really strong, just like Bitcoin. Our VWAP looks like we could break bullish. If that does happen, then we may continue our run up. So if there is a little bit of hope there, if that does happen, maybe we'll see that kind of across Bitcoin too, as our VWAPs are kind of similar, but that the graph's just a little closer to breaking bullish. Although it did kind of curl away slightly a couple candles ago, so that may not happen, and we are starting to come down pretty hard. If we make a bearish engulfing candle, then it's likely we'll get a pretty sharp drop, kind of like here. You got a pretty sharp drop. Over on XRP, we have a long upper, oh, wow, today's candle almost blends in with everything. We have a doji candle, so complete indecision in the market, doesn't know which way, it doesn't even know if it wants to be green or red right now. Our momentum wave does have a bullish divergence. We have a green dot that could print. We'll kind of have to see what happens. Money flow's coming out. VWAP's trying to cross bullish. Stochastic's trying to make a run up, and our RSI is just kind of hanging there. Over on the 4 hour, we do have a reversal arrow, so that is a sign that we could get a spill downwards as we were moving up, and now we're kind of falling. Stochastic's trying to run up, but our RSI is falling down, and our money flow rejected crossing up. VWAP is heading down, and our momentum wave isn't really strong, and looks like it could start to curl now. Over on the 2 hour, we're getting a momentum wave curl. Stochastic and RSI are kind of coming down very slightly. And our money flow didn't break bullish, and it's starting to kind of curl away from that neutral area. So I'd be a little cautious here. Over on the 1 hour, we rejected a bullish cross, so I'd be really cautious. We have a dot on our RSI, dot on our momentum, and our stochastics coming down with our RSI pointing down. VWAP looks like it's going to break, so the 1 hour looks like we could get a very quick break here, or some sort of downward momentum from here. Over on algo, if we look at the daily, we did break up almost to the full measured move of our candle that we had, our little thing we had from our channel. So I'm going to get rid of both of these. Oop, didn't want to get rid of that. That's what we need. Going to get rid of that channel. We'll keep this channel for now. So we're back into our low value area. And now we could likely start to inch our way toward this point of control if we manage to hold this tomorrow. We'll want to watch what happens. If we manage to hold here, make a bounce, and start to move up, then it's likely we could move up to 24 cents. So, good. I haven't really seen as much FUD the last few days, so that's good too. Stochastic's heading up, RSI's heading up, momentum wave's curling up, VWAP's starting to head up, but our money flow is like dead, so I'd be very leery of this move with no money flow action. Money flow's in the bearish zone on the 4 hour. RSI looks like it's about to round off. Our stochastic is kind of flat here as it really doesn't have much more room to go. We are getting a green dot here, so that does signal that we could get more bullish run up, but with the money flow coming down, I'd be a little leery, especially with the VWAP being weak and these other signals we're seeing. Over on the 2 hour, RSI is coming down and stochastic's coming down. Our VWAP broke bullish, however it's about to break bearish, and same with our money flow as it's pretty flat after breaking. You want to see that kind of sustain and move up. If we look at the 1 hour, we do have some red dots and stochastics making bearish divergences with RSI heading down. So the 1 hour is not looking too strong. VWAP looks like we're about to make a bearish cross. The money flow is positive, so we may see a little bit of a retest. We'll kind of have to see if Bitcoin can hold its ground or not. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.